and welcome to Kirsty Knits and Sews. My name is Kirsty and this is my little corner of the internet where I share with you what I've been crafting recently. Now, I have been a knitter for a long time and I've mainly focused on knitting in my crafting for the last 2 years or so. I'm wearing the Shawlography by Stephen West, which was last year's Mystery Knit Along. Not last year, sorry, 2 years ago. Last year was different. I have that one as well. This is Shawlography from 2 years ago. But I have recently had a bit of a change of heart. Now, I still love spinning, so a little bit of a spoiler there. I still love knitting. So if you are a knitter and you're here for the knitting content, stick around because there will still be knitting on this channel and in this video. But I have started a love, passion for spinning. Yes, let it slip out, spinning. I was gifted a spinning wheel for my birthday, which is not until September, and for Mother's Day, and chipped in a bit of my own money to get what I wanted as well. So it's a big purchase gift that has come, and I'm so excited to share with you my little fun foray into spinning. Now, I only started on Saturday night during the Eurovision final, so it's still quite new. I'm still a very much newbie, but I'm going to share with you what I've done already, what I'm planning to do, and also talk through some of the other projects that I've done since I last spoke to you. So let's start there. The first one you'll see back here, this is the basket that I was working on last time I spoke to you. Last time it was just a circular hexagonal bottom. It is now a basket. So this is this scrappy yarn basket. I followed a tutorial by My Poppet Makes. My Poppet Makes is My Poppet Makes and My Poppet blogs on Instagram. I'm not sure which one she uses mostly, but she has a blog called My Poppet Makes, which is where I got the tutorial for this. Project page is linked below, and in that project page is the link to the Ravelry page about the tutorial. I hope that makes sense. This is just made using 100% scraps. I'm not going to go through everything, but there was a little bit of like acrylic wool blend left over from a jumper that I made. There's an acrylic that was left over from a beanie that I made. There was a whole bunch of cotton that I bought on sale super cheap from Spotlight that I didn't know what to do with. There was like a chenille fluffy one that was given to me. There was some other cotton that was given to me. There was some wool-free sock yarn that was given to me. I have another 2 skeins of it that match that I'm planning to make socks out of just so I can see what it's like. But I had a single skein, like a 50-gram ball. So I used that in here because I'm not going to make a pair of socks out of 50 grams. Yeah, so this is just kind of my leftover everything basket. It is bigger than what the pattern said, or the tutorial said, but in the tutorial she says you can make it any size, and that's what I did. So I just kind of made the bottom until it was big enough for a scrappy blanket, and then I kept going almost until I ran out of yarn. Now, I could have done another 3 or 6 rows, I think, but the really thin cotton yarn was getting fussy. And by that I mean it kept tangling. I was using it from both ends of a couple of balls and it just kept knotting and it was no longer enjoyable. So instead I cut it. You can see here I haven't trimmed ends. I cut it, I joined in the other end of the fluffy yarn, and I just held the fluffy yarn double for 2 rows until it was done. Yeah, very happy with that. Just pause while I let the dog in and then I will be back. Okay, dog is in. So in this giant scrappy yarn basket, I am keeping my scrappy blanket project. Now this is one of the reasons I wanted to make it. I was using a small IKEA basket, I mean decently sized but small for a scrappy blanket, and it just wasn't fitting. And so I wanted something that I could just pick up, carry around, would keep all of the scrappy yarns in here with the blanket, and I'm very happy. So it's not going to stretch across the needle well, But there you go. That's a bit of an idea of where we're at. This is the Bits and Bobs blanket by I'm going to get it wrong now. The Bakery Bears. Yeah, that's where you can find her, the Bakery Bears. KF Jones, I believe is her name. Bakery Bears is what they are on YouTube. But yes, Bits and Bobs blanket, again, project page linked below. And it's held double. I'm holding Easy Care Merino Superfine in colour 4, which is a cool grey, double with scraps. Not sock yarn scraps, nothing with nylon. This is a blanket for my non-sock yarn 4-ply scraps. So in here I have singles, I have some acrylic, I have some, I don't know, just a whole lot of different things. Some crepe, this pink here is a crepe. Just everything is in here. And here you can see my stitch marker, which means that is what I've done since I last spoke to you, which is a fair amount for a scrappy blanket. I did cast on, I think it's 180 stitches. It's a few more than whatever it's in the pattern, maybe 10 or 15 more than the pattern because I want it extra wide. And that means I'm going to use more yarn than the pattern says as well. So the Easy Care Merino are smaller balls, like meterage wise, smaller than what's recommended in the pattern or used in the pattern. Which means I am almost finished my, I think this is my 6th ball. No, almost finished my 7th ball. Yeah, because I started with 8, almost finished my 7th. And that's all I got. It's not long enough. I'm going to need at least another 8, possibly another 10 to get this to a length that I'm happy with. And so I'm just waiting for those balls to go on sale. So that's where we're at lengthwise at the moment. It's just not big enough. I'm going to need at least another 6 or 7 to get it to cover my legs while I'm sitting down, let alone be a snuggly lying down one. So I'm going to keep going. And then in here, if you can see that, scraps. I am loving it. I'm just kind of putting my hand in and pulling one out. I'm not doing colour management unless I pull out one that is basically the same colour, and then I'll try again. But like here you can see some white next to the grey. It's just like I pulled out another grey straight after this and I was like, no, I want some contrast. Yeah, so really, really, really enjoying that. I started this one last year. Haven't worked on it a ton. Actually, I'm going to change that stitch marker while I'm talking to you. Haven't worked on it a ton, but I have been sick this last week. And so this was a really great, I don't have to think about it, can just sit and knit one to pull out. And it worked really well. You can see I got a lot done, and I haven't really worked on it as much for the last few days because of other things, but it has been sitting, this is where I sit to knit, and it has been sitting just here so that I can pick it up easily if I'm watching TV or something and have nothing else to do. All right, so that's finished object, whip. This is another whip that I will show you. This is a very special one. So this is, I guess you would say, embroidery. It's got beadwork, it's got French knots. That's it. And this is one that I'm doing for Nan and Pa. So Nan and Pa is my husband's grandparents. I bought things to do this years ago, like maybe 4 years ago, and I just didn't have everything I needed. I had the first bits of what I needed, and so it sat and it sat and it sat, and then last time I spoke about an embroidery that I did that had a lot of French knots, and I was like, I love French knots, this is so much fun. And so I thought, hey, I have a project that is almost all French knots. So I went and sourced the last things that I needed, which was the beads, and started working on it. And you can see I'm about halfway done with the French knots. So what I've done is I've attached the charms, Then I attached the pearl beads. Now I'm French knotting in between using a cream and a white silk. And then I have some little copper beads that I'll then go back and kind of scatter through at the end. Yeah, pretty easy. The hardest part is pulling the silk through because this is quite a dense fabric, so it does take a little bit of chutzpah to get that through. But overall, pretty good. The reason it's so special at the moment is it's for Nan and Pa. And since I've started this, Pa has gone downhill. They're both in their 80s. I'm pretty sure they're both in their 80s. And so my hope is that I'll be able to finish this while Pa is still around to receive it. But either way, I'm going to finish it. And this has taken about a week. I can't do it too much because, like I said, it takes a bit to pull the thread through. But I'm hoping that I can finish this in the next week and then send it back to Australia to be received. But one thing I love about it is the charms on it are representative. So they both love music. Pa was with Math for a long time, which is a company that works with planes. Nan did a lot of sewing and candle wicking and things like that, which is a type of sewing. So I've got some little sewing scissors there. We see a heart, they're in love, and in the center, I found a charm of the Bible. So excited. They are Christians, they love the Lord Jesus, and so I've got that there as well, just as the center of their love, their union, their marriage. So I'm excited to get this done and send that back, and like I said, I'm just hoping and praying that it's a special, joyful thing when it arrives. Yeah. It's one of those things that you kind of feel like you take too long doing something, and I think about it and like I would not have been able to do it earlier the way that I have now. So it's just time. These are the beads that I got to go in between. So I'll just put a few of them scattered through, and that will tie the colour between the cream and the charms together, is the plan. The silk thread that I'm using is Torre Stillook ribbon yarn, colour 31 is the first one, and colour 9 is the second. You can see it just down the bottom. This I bought, there were 35 cents and 50 cents a metre when I bought them, at a little haberdashery shop in Jacaranda, near Beechworth. They have great pies in this little town. I can't remember the name. Yakandanda, maybe? I'm not going to be able to remember. It's a little town near Beechworth that has great pies, particularly the lamb mint ones, I believe. Delicious. But yeah, so I found these in a little haberdashery shop. Knew that I wanted silk yarn, bought them. Yeah, not much else to say about this project. I'm working on it bit by bit. And that is definitely a priority. Now, like I said, I have been sidetracked by something that is very exciting, and that is my spinning wheel. Now, if you're interested, the spinning wheel that I chose is the Ashford Kiwi 3. And the reason I chose that, for multiple reasons, one of them is portability. It's 5.5 kilos and it folds up. And you can buy a backpack to put it in, but I'm actually going to try and make a patchwork backpack to put it in, because the backpack itself is 150 Australian dollars. And I sew. So I'm going to try and make my own. But also the price. It was a very reasonable price for a non-electric spinning wheel. I had some good reviews. I read some good reviews. I did some research. The thing that caused me pause is it's Scotch tension, and there's a few different tensions. There's Irish tension, which I'm not interested in. There's the Scotch tension, and then there's the double drive. And some double drive wheels you can do Scotch tension on, but Scotch tension wheels you can't swap to a double drive. And so I kind of went back and forth a bit about it, whether I wanted Scotch tension or not. But I finally went, you know what, it's a good price, it has great reviews, I'm going to go for it. And so far I have not been disappointed. If in 10 years time I really want a double drive, I'll see what I can do. But at the moment, this is working great and I'm loving it. And it's here. The double drive, I would have had to have waited a lot longer because they're a lot more expensive, or at least the ones I was looking at. So I'm very, very happy with my Ashford Kiwi 3. Ashford is a New Zealand brand. It felt weird buying something from New Zealand in Europe, but I didn't want to wait until I visited Australia again, and the prices were comparable anyway. So here it is. I don't have anything on the wheel at the moment because I plied everything up yesterday and right before bed, and I haven't started again today. I was about to, and then I was like, you know what, I'm going to record a podcast and share my joy with all these people. So I haven't done any today. I have nothing on the bobbin to show you, but I do have some yarns that I have already spun. So let's do this in order. This is the first yarn that I spun. Now, you can see in here some wild inconsistencies. Right? Like this one, I can't even see the ply. Sorry, the colour's gone really weird now. I can't even see the ply that's plying this together. It's such a fine ply with an almost unspun main. So this is more kind of on the lines of what I would think of as art yarn. Like some of them are quite thick. But in terms of a first spin, I'm very, very, very happy with this. And I totally intend to use it. I'll probably use it as a contrast colour maybe. I'm not entirely sure. It is for the most part, I would say DK to Aran weight. Like it's quite inconsistent. And it's not really a colour that I would normally wear. But I will either choose to keep it just so that I can look at and be excited by it, or I will spin it. This one I did, knit it. This one I did using merino, so it's quite a fine merino. I bought a bag off Amazon that was meant to be for felting, but it was like, you can also spin with this. So I was like, well, I need something quickly to practice with, so that'll do. And it did nicely. It was 3 colours lengthwise, and so I just spun it from the top, just whatever was at the top I spun. I did a short draw, which means I held the fibre steady and pulled little bits out with my other hand, keeping the twist from coming into the fibre. So I'd pull the fibre out, slide it back, let the twist in, pull the fibre out, slide back, let the twist in. So that's short draw. And yeah, I just had fun. I played with the tension. I worked on getting regular treadling. It was really fun. And it ended up, there were 3 colours, light, medium and dark, and it's ended up with this beautiful mottled style yarn. Beautiful. So then I spun all this up. I still have a little bit because my second skein was the second half of my spin was so much finer than the first. And so I ended up with way more yardage of the second. So I just put that on a toilet roll to hold off until I'm ready to do something with it. But this is washed and almost dry. I bought a whole bunch of fibre. And one of the things I bought was a scrap bag. And in that scrap bag, I had about 300 grams of this chocolate brown, which is beautiful. And I would totally wear this colour but I didn't want to sweat a quantity of chocolate brown. Yeah, I just don't think I'd wear it as a full sweater. So I decided this was the perfect thing for practicing on as well. So what I did is I split it up into 15-gram sections. Sorry, I got 5 15-gram sections off it. I didn't split the whole thing up into 15 grams. I got 5 15-gram bundles, and I'm using them to practice different techniques of spinning. Now it is a worsted prep, which means it's all the fibres are pretty much aligned. There's not really air in between them. But I'm going to try spinning short draw, long draw, short forward draw, which is where the fibre stays still and you're pulling a bit out. Short backwards draw, which is where you pull the fibre back and then let the spin join. Short. Now I'm debating that. Yeah, short backwards, so you pull the fibre back and then let the spin come down, and then pull the fibre back, let the spin come down. I'm going to try, if I can, do like a full backwards draw, see if I can do a supported backwards draw. Unlikely with the merino and with no experience, but I'm going to try. So I'm going to try doing the worsted prep, the worsted draws, which is designed to keep air out of it, and the woolen draws, which are designed to put air into it. And I'm going to try doing spinning from the fold as well. So rather than just from the top where it's all nice and smooth, take a bit, fold it into and spin from where it folds over, and that will help air go into it. So I'm going to just kind of play with different techniques, because if I play now, then I can start to learn a little bit of everything before I feel like I should be an expert. But B, because I don't know what I like. I know short forward is a very simple thing, and that's kind of what I default to, but it's also the only thing I've tried so far. So I want to try some different things and see what I like doing and what yarn I like making and working with. So anyway, this is another short forward. So it's the same style as this one, except I was able to get it much more consistent and start playing with actually how much twist do I want in it, both for the spin, for the singles and for the ply. And what I realized is I was underspinning the singles. They kept breaking on me, and so I added more spin, and yeah, it's decent. It's a very loosely spun yarn, but it's decent. Well, I then had a little bit of this left over after I plied it, and so then I made this. And see, this is why playing is so important. These are all like tiny, tiny little bits. I haven't measured to see how much there is, but like this is a 36-inch round. So we're talking like 15 yards or something, like they're tiny, tiny amounts. But what I did was I plied one of the brown with this and got this beautiful kind of barber pole look. But because this one is already modelled, mulled, variegated, this just turned out beautiful to have one solid colour and then the other side modelled. It's just stunning, and I want to recreate the look of this. I also put more twist in the ply for this, and I really like the look of that. It looks more like a solid yarn. It's getting more consistent already. I'm just so excited at all of the possibilities for making. And like I said, I have a lot of this brown left, so I'm really tempted to just go buy some more variegated yarn that is just down the length, some top that is multicolored, spin it, and then just ply it with some brown, because that looks gorgeous, and I would totally use this in so many different ways. So anyway, that's what I've got so far. I'm so excited. I have another 4 lots of 15 grams of the brown to try different techniques and things like that. And I have a box of fibre here that I bought from DHG. dyeing house gallery, which I believe is in, are you going to tell me quickly? I want to say it's in Italy. I could be wrong there. But I have a whole bunch there. And so I'm going to put a video in here of me playing with that fibre yesterday and sorting it out. Alright, I got this box of fibre. It did all fit in the box when I got it, but this is fibre that I've got to do fun things with. One of them is, I got a 500 gram bag of merino top that was just a mix of colours, which I've already kind of taken out into here. And I got some Corriedale, which this is the Corriedale, and I got some plain white Corriedale for dyeing. So that's not going to come into this. What I've done with all of these random things is I got a lot of brown in this mixed fibre bag. So I've taken some of that out. It's not quite as red as it's showing up on the screen, but I've taken this out and put it into just 15 gram segments so that I can do some practicing, because I'm brand new to spinning and I have not learned how to spin from the fold. I can do spin from the top, short draw so far, but I want to try some backwards drafting and things like that from the fold because I have top. That's what I got. That's what I'm going to practice with at the moment. So that is these bits here. Maybe. Hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. So I've got 5 of them. What I'm going to do is try and do a bit of a colour planned thing. So I'm just going to take all of this out and move the box away. This is what I'm working with. I bought these 2 colours in Corriedale, thinking that would make a really great base for something, and then hoping that the other colours that came in the merino one would work. Now, I'm a little bit nervous about mixing the merino with Corriedale as I go because I haven't done this before. I'm still learning. All things are brand new to me, but I thought I'd give it a go. That cream is getting very blown out. I thought I'd give it a go. So what I've got here is this one, and these 2 are Corriedale, and everything else is merino. Now, when you get hand-dyed roving, what I'm going to try and reproduce is a hand-dyed roving where you can kind of split it into repeatable segments and spin it in a 1, 2, 4 way to kind of get a slow gradient fractal spin. Like I said, have not done this before, but I thought I'd take you through what I'm doing so that if you like the finished product, it's all here. So I weighed it before with a bowl. I have my little kitchen scales here. Not brilliantly accurate, but hopefully will do what I want to do today. And I have, I want to say about 350, 400 grams of fibre here that I'm playing with. Maybe more. We'll see. But what I want to do is I want to split it, everything that I've got, into 3. And then from those 3, I'm going to split them into, I'm going to split 2 of the groups into a 2 and 4. But part of my question is, what colour order do I want? So if I do it like, if I do it like that, I've got a nice gradient that goes around. And then when I can swap those 2. And then when I come to doing the fractals, it would continue to go in that way. Or I can mix it up and have something more like that, where it just kind of jumps from colour to colour without doing it in the gradient. I'm not sure. I know that whatever I choose, I'm going to have to do it consistently throughout. At the moment I am kind of leaning towards random, just because otherwise I'm going to end up with a lot of green together, particularly for my long gradient. And it's not, the colors aren't regular enough. Like I don't want to end up with a very obviously largely green section of my jumper that then has a little bit of different color at the tip of the sleeves or something. So I think I want to break up the green and do something like that. I like that just as a quick glance. That makes me happy. So let's give this a go. I'm going to split each one up into 3 to start with, and then put one set aside and break the next one up into 2 and then into 4. So to split it into 3, you can see I've got a large thing here. I'm not going to do it super duper accurate. I'm just going to do it by length. So you can see here, starts and ends at the same point. So I'm just going to break it. Come on, there we go. 1, 2. So I've just broken that into 3 lengths. And I will put that back here. Alright, so this is what I've got. This is the order that I'll go in. So the black, the sage, the kind of mallard green, copper, cobalt blue, mallard green, brown, rust orange, kind of more of a emerald green, bright green, mallard green, cream, back to the copper and back to the mallard. So that's the way that I'm going to spin it. They're all split into 3 at the moment, and it's now just a matter of putting them in bags. I won't split them into 2 and 4 until I'm ready to spin them. So I'll just put them in bags, 1 of each colour. And then when I need to know, I will come back to this video. I'm just going to point out for myself, as much as anyone else, this is a larger section of brown. This is the smaller section of brown. I think the rest of them are pretty evenly done. Yay! Alright, welcome back. So, you will have seen my play, my colour that I'm hoping for. Oh, this is a nitty noddy. It's to help skein yarn. I accidentally bought the small one, not realising how small the small one actually was, which has been perfect for all of my little samples. Like this is maybe 40 grams. I haven't weighed it since it's been finished, but definitely all my 15 gram ones, this has been perfect. I've just ordered a longer one because I am planning to do bigger spins. My bobbins, these are my bobbins for the Ashford Kiwi 3. I've just got some lead yarn on there already. But these do, I think it's 4 to 5 ounces. So it's over 100 grams. These will do 100 to 125 grams, I think is the plan. Which means, yeah, if I'm going to fill these, and I will probably overfill them at some point, I wanted a larger nitty noddy for that. Yeah, so this is where I'm at. I've got all my fibre sitting over here, waiting to be spun. Just look at those colours. I just love that it's going to be like green, but it has a pop of blue, pop of brown, pop of orange. It's going to be delightful. So this is all sitting here. What's stopping me starting that spin, because I really, really, really want to start that spin, and the whole thing at this point is just experimental. Like I explained in the video, I think the plan is to spin through one colour, join the next, spin through that colour, join the next, and kind of do my own colour management for a 1, 2, 4 fractal spin. And so then the second one I'll split them into 2, and my third one I'll split them into 4, and kind of get that variegation going, which I'm really excited about. But it is merino and Corriedale, so I don't know how much I'm going to have to change spin between each thing. Yeah, there's just a whole lot of unknowns. I'm just experimenting. I'm going to have fun. We'll see how it goes. But I have a little bit of some of the colours left over that I can play around with. I've just bought some more bobbins as well, because I realised I only have 3 bobbins, and if I'm going to do 3-ply yarns, I really need 4, so I can have the single plies each on a bobbin and then ply on to the 4th bobbin, or even now I think of it 5, because they're going to need to, yeah, that's all right. I've bought another 3, so I will have 6 bobbins, and that should be enough to be able to ply onto. But yeah, if I ply onto one, I can then wind it onto a niddy noddy and use the same one to keep plying the rest of the yarn. Yeah. Anyway, so this is just a little bit of a pop-in. Like I said, there's really not as much this week quantity-wise. I haven't done a little bit of a lot of things. I've just kind of focused on a few, which means that this is a much shorter episode than previously. But I am so, so, so enjoying my spinning that I wanted to come in and share with you spinning. If spinning is not your cup of tea, that is okay. Please stick around, and in future episodes I will talk more about knitting and things again. But yeah, between the illness and my kids being sick and getting a new toy, spinning has taken over my mind. Yeah. All right. I don't think there's anything else to share with you, except that if you are a spinner and you live in Europe especially, I would love to know where you like to buy your fibre from. I have found a few places that have, I mean, most places will have merino, but I found a few places that have different types. And also, if you're in Australia, I would love to know, because my parents are coming over from Australia and can bring me some fibre if they bring it, if I order it in the next couple of weeks. So I'm also thinking of that. I found one place, the Fibre Shed Company in Australia, that has in stock about 28 types of wool fibre, wool top. And I am trying to debate how many it's realistic to actually ask my parents to bring over, because I want to try spinning all the fleece. I don't want to just stick with merino. I want to try everything and see which ones I like spinning, which ones I like knitting. I don't know what I'm going to do with, 20, 50 gram skeins of different type of spins. But I figure once they're done, I can just put them away and play with them as it comes. So yeah. Thank you for coming. Thank you for joining me today. Hang on a second. Okay, I forgot about this. So if you're still here, I'm so glad. We're going to have a giveaway, because I was thinking about this. My last episode, I mentioned that I had a whole lot of single skeins that I was thinking of caking up and using for a scrap blanket. And I'm still thinking of doing that, but I was like, I really want to use one of these in the scrap blanket. And if I use one in the scrap blanket and I use one for socks, I still have one left over. I don't know what to do with it. And I was like, hello, a giveaway. So anyway, but I almost forgot. So here we go. This is Zakapane Galloway. This is some yarn that I dyed myself. It is non-repeatable colorway. I don't sell my yarn. I did sell some at a conference, but generally I don't sell it. I don't have a shop. I just dye for fun. And so this is a little bit of fun to share with you. What do you need to know? It's 75-25% merino and recycled nylon. I used professional grade dyes. Yeah. If you are interested in winning this, comment below. I'd love to know, is spinning something that you're interested in? Is spinning something that you've ever thought about doing? Is there some kind of roadblock for you to get into spinning, whether that's cost or, I don't know, some people struggle with treadling because of knees or whatever it is. Yeah, I'd love to know if it's something that you're currently interested in or in the future will be interested in. See what I did there? I'm trying to get you interested into it. No, anyway, but in your comment somewhere, put spinning, SPINNING, and you will go into the running to win a skein of Zakopane yarn. Zakopane is a town in Poland and was my inspiration of the colours for this, which is why it's called Zakopane. And what am I saying? Oh, there are a whole lot of bots on YouTube at the moment. So if anyone comments, even if it says Kirsty Knits and Sews giveaway or something like that, if anyone comments on your thing saying you've won and contact me here, don't. It's fake. It's false. It's not me. I will announce it here on the podcast next time. So don't give in to bots that are telling you that you've won. And if that happens, I'm really sorry. Yeah, but I will announce it up here. I will put a little picture here next time if you have won. So don't think that bots are real. If I see it, obviously I'll report it, but just be aware. If it doesn't come out of my mouth, it's not true. Yeah, but I'd love to hear what you think about spinning. If you want to win this, even if you don't want to win it, try and avoid the word spinning. I don't know. Yeah, and I will draw that next time. Thank you so much for joining me. I really, really, really love these little chats that we get to have, and I'd love to know what you've been working on or doing while we chat, and I will see you next time.